What's up, guys, and welcome to my awards for the best Xbox 360 game of 2008. Now, I'll just start off by saying that I did miss out on some really high-profile Xbox 360 games. And I will also say that in order to make this list, games must be exclusive to the Xbox 360. That means that multi-platform titles such as Fallout 3, Sonic Unleashed, even Eternal Sonata, Mirror's Edge, because they appear on the PlayStation 3 or other platforms, they will not be included. I would also just like to add that if any of these games do appear on the PC, that's an exception. If it appears on the PC, I will still include it on the list. I'm just talking about console exclusive. So, if it's on the Xbox 360 and the PC, I will include it on the list for exclusive 360 titles, because I'm excluding PC games from my Game of the Years entirely because I don't play PC games. But I will point out the games that I did not play this year, and please don't criticize me too much for not playing Fable 2, Gears of War 2, and let's see, there were other multi-platform ones, but those are the two that are exclusive. I did not play those. However, that will probably make this award video much more interesting for those of you that are tired of hearing the same games getting the same awards. So, before you guys go criticizing me for not playing those games, this year there were just so many new franchises and unique titles out there. I was just getting tired of playing the same thing. I do not hate those games. I will pick them up and I will play them sometime in 2009. But I just had so many other games to pick up and play that I could not get some of these titles. So let's get this started off. I got a couple of nominees here, and the first one would be Infinite Undiscovery. Now, the 360 this year got a lot of great RPGs. Infinite Undiscovery is one of them. In terms of its gameplay, it plays out like Final Fantasy XII, where you can command like up to 16 player battles, however you only control the main character. But it's just so much fun. A lot of the characters are quite likable, and the story is pretty fun, where you take on the role of a character that's the other characters in the game are being led on to believe that he's like this other character that's like the savior of the world, and you're kind of playing the marketplace kid in his place, kind of. And he happened on that by mistake because he looks similar to this other character. The story is great. The combat is a lot of fun. It does have some downsides in terms of the voice acting and its length. I'm not too big of a complainer about length in RPGs, but it is not the type of game that you want to invest a lot of time in, because it does end quicker than most RPGs. However, the battles are just a lot of fun. Each one is like an all-out war, especially the big epic battles where you have like 3 parties of 4 characters each. Definitely deserves a nomination for Xbox 360 Game of the Year, and I say give this one a shot. Ignore the reviews. If you liked Final Fantasy XII, give this one a try, or if you're a fan of action RPGs. Next up, Lost Odyssey. Lost Odyssey is really, in terms of people that are deciding between a PS3 and a 360, if they like RPGs, I say go for the 360 because of games like Lost Odyssey. This is taking us back to the roots of what we used to love about classic RPGs. It is essentially a Final Fantasy game recreated for the Xbox 360. Of course, it loses a lot of the magic of those games. It's not as, how do I put this? It's different, let's just say that, because the story, a lot of the core story is unveiled through these dream sequences, which are basically quite long, interactive books, basically, where it's like, some of them will last up to half an hour, where they unveil like a story-based background on the characters, where you'll be reading about someone's past, and it has like sound synced up to what you're reading and everything, and it's very, very cool. If you read that stuff, you're really gonna get a lot more enjoyment out of Lost Odyssey. The graphics are amazing. The sound is really good as well. And the characters are quite likable. I did like almost every single character that you get to play as in this game. And essentially, it's a glorified traditional RPG. There's nothing out of this world different about it. It's basically a next generation traditional RPG. And honestly, there really hasn't been anything like this yet on any of the consoles, because each one is offering up something unique or different. There really hasn't been a traditional RPG like Lost Odyssey yet in 2008. My next nomination would be Dark Messiah Might and Magic Elements. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are going to disagree with this one, because this is one of those games where you either like it or you hate it. You're most likely going to hate it if someone recommends this to you as a game that's like Oblivion, or if you read a review that says it's like Oblivion or it's trying to be like Oblivion. It's not. You have to think of this game as a first-person action-adventure game in a fantasy setting. If you think of it like that, it's going to play out like a linear game. You know, it's not a big open-world game. Don't be led on to believe that. It's a straight linear path. However, in that linear path, there's a lot of hidden treasure, and, you know, there's a lot of... It takes you to all these different places, and the combat is fun. You know, I played as the archer for most of the game, and shooting guys in the head and everything was just so much fun, kicking them off cliffs. I mean, it was just a very, very fun game. Especially the online. The community now is dead, but when I did play this, it's a class-based online combat game where it's very emphasized on its class-based team play and teamwork, where you basically have to work together. You know, you had your mage, you had your healer, you had your archer, you had your warrior, and it was just a lot of fun online. Unfortunately, the community is dead though, like I said. However, you can get this game really cheap now, and I do recommend it for anybody that's a fan of any kind of fantasy adventuring type games. Definitely worth, in my opinion, a nomination for Xbox 360 Game of the Year. Next up, we have Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead was... There were high expectations for this game, let's just put it that way. Coming out of Valve, who created Team Fortress 2, Half-Life 2, and Portal, there were big expectations for this game, and overall they were pretty much met. You have to go into Left 4 Dead realizing what you're getting into. It's essentially a game that you're going to be playing with friends or online. The lasting appeal for this game is going to mainly be based upon how much fun you have, because the campaign mode is quite limited to how many times you can play it in terms of getting bored with it. In my opinion, the lasting appeal is the online, where you play as the infected and the humans, and there's nothing else like it out there. It emphasizes so much teamwork, and it is just so much fun that this is without a doubt another great nomination for Xbox 360 Game of the Year. And my last nomination would have to be Tales of Vesperia. And I'll just say that I have never played any other Tales games before, so this was really the first one that I put a lot of time into, and it does a lot of things right. The story, the characters, the music, the combat, everything is just so enjoyable. Now, my opinion might be a bit biased because this is my first Tales game. People that have played others in the past will probably be like, well, it's just more of the same. Well, for me, it was a lot of fun to try this out. Very unique in terms of how the characters develop in these little cutscenes where you'll be in a dungeon, and to relieve the monotony of grinding, you press the back button when it signals you, and you got your characters talking about like random stuff. They'll be like, well, why do I look good in this dress? And then, you know, they'll have some smart comeback. It's just a lot of fun. I love the writing and the comedy in this game, and I had a great time playing this one. Alright guys, so my pick for Game of the Year for Xbox 360 2008 would have to be Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is without a doubt the most fun I've had on my 360 online in a long time. It is so simple in its premise. You would have never... If someone would have told you we're coming out with a cooperative online game where you get a couple guns and you get a couple of campaigns to choose from and have fun. However, because it's with zombies and you're having, you know, these online survivor versus zombie battles and some really crazy moments in campaign mode, it is just so simple, so unique, so addictive. It is, without a doubt, my favorite exclusive Xbox 360 title of the year. So go and pick this one up, guys, if you haven't yet. You're missing out on a great gem right here.